In this video, we will show you how to replace your front headlamp assembly on this Honda Accord. You'll have two of these, one on each side of your vehicle. The process is the same. Let's get into it. Okay friends, let's get started on our job. We're going to remove the front grille by removing several Phillips head screws across the top. You'll find there's 5 of them. Inspect your mounting hardware as you remove it, replace it as necessary. The third one's located directly in the center here. Use a magnet for this one. At this point, it's pretty much dislodged, but what you'll find is you have 2 push clips holding it to the vehicle. We're going to take hold of this, give it a light tug straight forward. There we are. Now with the grille out of the way, the next thing we're going to have to do is remove the front bumper from the vehicle. To be able to remove the front bumper, we're going to have to remove each of the front parking lights. To remove your parking light, have a look in your lower grille area. You'll be looking for this port, and if you were to look inside of it, you'll find an area with a Phillips head screw. Remove that Phillips head screw. Once you have your mounting screw loose, you should be able to reach inside here and pull it out. If you don't feel as though you want to reach inside, continue on with a plastic trim tool and gently start prying it out, being careful not to cause any damage to the bumper cover. Now as we roll this out, we'll be coming out diagonally, paying attention to our wiring harness along the back side. We'll take hold of this, give it a little twist counterclockwise to remove it. A quick inspection of your bulb. If it looks like it's burnt, you definitely want to go ahead and replace that. Let's move under the vehicle. We're looking for 2 push clips across the front center of the bumper. For these push clips, typically you'd want to go ahead and loosen up the center to unlock it, and then you can remove the outer portion. A quick inspection and set it aside. There we are. This side is dislodged. Repeat the process on the opposite side of the bumper cover. Once you have the center push clips out, make your way towards each side of the vehicle. What we're looking for is a 10mm headed mounting bolt that holds the bumper cover to the corner plastic piece located underneath this area. Remove the mounting bolt. A quick inspection, we'll set that aside. Now let's make our way up inside the wheel well. You're looking at the corner of the bumper cover. You'll find an 8mm headed bolt holding the bumper cover in place to the fender of the vehicle. Remove the mounting bolt. There we are. This side is dislodged. Repeat the process on the opposite side of the bumper cover. Once you've completed on the other side of the vehicle, we're going to look inside of where the parking lamps were located. If you were to look deep inside this area, you're going to find that you have 2 12mm headed mounting bolts. There's one on this side, and there's one on that side right there. We'll remove the pair from this side of the vehicle and make our way over to the other side of the vehicle and repeat that same process. At this point, this side of the front bumper is dislodged. It's a good idea to have a helper holding this up while you continue on the other side of the front bumper. All right, we've got our helper. Now to remove this, you're going to want to carefully lift up and then start pulling it away. With the front bumper cover out of the way, let's start removing that headlamp assembly. Along the bottom, you're going to find that you have 3 10mm headed mounting bolts to remove. Now let's make our way to the top of the headlamp assembly. Up along the top of the headlamp assembly, you'll find that you have 2 10mm headed mounting bolts. As you remove those, make sure you're holding onto the headlamp assembly. We do have wiring harnesses along the back side. We'll carefully start pulling this away so we can expose our wiring harnesses. Now with that pulled away, we can start disconnecting our wiring harnesses. For this, you'll find that it has a locking tab where my thumb is. Press in on the locking tab and pull that out of place. Quick inspection. We'll set that aside. Now we'll take hold of this locking ring, turn this counterclockwise. Just have to give it a little spin. Pull that right off of there. You can remove the bulb at the same time. A quick inspection of the bulb. Make sure you do not touch the bulb glass itself. This one looks fine. We'll set it aside. Let's make our way out here. Same process. Once again, inspecting our bulb, we'll set that aside as well. Let's keep moving along here. There it is, friend. Okay, friend, let's get ready for the installation of our brand new headlamp assembly. Let's start along the back side. You want to make sure you install your bulbs and your locking rings in the same position as where you had removed them. For the high beam bulb, we'll rest that in position there. Make sure the connector is facing downward. Insert the locking ring, turn that clockwise to lock it in. Now it's time for the headlight bulb. Same process. We'll rest that in position, making sure the connector is facing downward. Install the locking ring. A quick confirmation that both of those are secure. Now we can start installing our outward bulbs. We'll press that in as far as possible, turn it clockwise to lock it in. Give it a wiggle to make sure it's secure. Let's get the next one here. This one's hard to see. Press that in. Give it a twist. Once again, a good wiggle. We'll continue on. For the headlights, we'll press them in, listen for a click, give them a little tug. Grab that next one. Let's carefully take this and slide it into position. Start in both of your mounting bolts. Now before we tighten either of those, let's make our way back underneath the headlight assembly. Now that we have everything connected, before we start installing this up against the vehicle, have a look along the back side. You'll find that you have one alignment point here that you'd be using a Phillips head screwdriver for, and the second one is located out here. With that said, let's carefully take this and put it in place. Start in our lower mounting hardware here. Once you have all of the hardware started in, you can go ahead and tighten it up. Now that we have all of them started in, Let's tighten it up. Let's make our way back up to the top of the headlamp assembly. Up along the top, we'll tighten our two 10mm headed bolts here. Double check to make sure your headlamp assembly is properly secured and repeat the process on the opposite side of the vehicle. Now we can install the front bumper and bumper cover onto the vehicle. We're going to have to make sure we slide the bracket up and over this area, we'll rest it down, and align the rest of our mounting bolt holes. Once we've done that, we can continue on with all 4 of our mounting bolts. Once you have that rested in place, the next thing you need to do is have a look inside where your parking lights would be on that front bumper cover. We need to align our mounting bolt holes. You may have to either raise or lower the bumper as needed. Once you've done so, we'll continue on with our mounting bolts. For this, we'll just put it right in our 12mm socket with an extension and get it into place. We'll be starting each of these in before we tighten any of them. Make our way in for the next one here. Reach inside the front bumper if needed. Now we'll just do the same thing on the other side. Once you have each of those mounting bolts started in, we're going to pause. Make your way to the corner of the bumper cover. We want to make sure that we place it along that fender. While we're pressing this into the fender, we're also going to make sure that it comes along the headlight as it should. Do this. With that done, the next thing that we need to do is pay attention to the height of the bumper cover itself. You want to make that adjustment now. Carefully lift up or lower the bumper as needed to make sure it's properly aligned with your headlamp assembly and your fender. Once it is aligned, continue on with tightening your 12mm headed bolts. Make your way over to the other side of the vehicle and do the exact same thing. Now it's time to install the parking light. When you go to install the lamp assembly, pay attention on the far end. You have this hooked area. If you were to look inside the bumper cover, you'll find that you do have a notch for that to slide into. With that said, we can take this, get it in position. We'll turn it clockwise to make sure it's locked in. Once you've done that, go ahead and get this in position in the bumper cover. We'll roll it in diagonally, align our mounting bolt hole, and snug it up. There we are. Now we can snug it up. Double check to make sure it's secured in place. Now just go ahead and do the same on the other side of the bumper cover. Let's make our way up towards each one of the fenders now. We're going to make sure that we secure the corners of the bumper cover to the body of the vehicle. We'll use our 8mm for that. Double check to make sure that's properly secure. Same on the opposite side of the vehicle. Let's make our way under the center of the bumper cover now. In the center of this, you do have 2 push clips that we're going to be installing. One right along here. Make our way over this way. Right there. Now we can start making our way towards the sides of the bumper cover. Along each side, you should have a 10mm headed bolt. Start it in, snug it up. Same on the other side of the vehicle. Now we can prepare to install the grille. Before we do it, have a look along the back side. You're going to have an alignment tab, and that'll slide into the headlamp assembly. You have one of these on each side. Let's carefully take this, align those alignment tabs, and press this into position. With that pressed into position, you can continue on to all 5 of your Phillips head screws making their way across. Let's start in our mounting hardware here. Let's get this one in here, right down in there. Once you have all of them started, continue on with aligning the grille. After that, snug them up. Okay, friend, we finished the installation of our front bumper cover. At this point, you want to make sure you test your lamp functionality, take your vehicle for a road test, and listen for funny noises. Thanks for watching.
Now we're going to get the vehicle ready to aim the headlights. Start with the tire pressure, making sure all 4 tires are set at the appropriate pressure. Remove any excessive weight that's not normally in the vehicle. Find a wall that you can drive up to where the ground is level. Measure 25 feet away from that wall and mark the ground. Drive your vehicle up to that mark. With the headlights off, look for the center dot in the headlight lens. Measure from the ground to that center dot. You can use a ruler to help you out. Transferring that measurement to the wall, making a mark with some tape. On the driver's side, measure down 4 inches, putting another piece of tape. For the passenger side, you only need to measure down 2 inches. Now turning the headlights on, it is easier to do this at night or in a dark area. Locating your headlight adjuster and using a Phillips head screwdriver, turn your adjuster one way or another to bring the headlight up or down. Once the headlight is adjusted to the tape mark on the wall, move on to the next headlight. If you're confused because the beams seem to blend together, you can always have someone stand in front of the other headlight while you make your adjustments for that one. Now your headlights are aligned and you're all set to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.